Greetings and blessings, butterflies. I'm here. Just getting myself together for the conversation that we're going to have. This is Cocoon Conversations. And during Cocoon Conversations, we have discussions about things that we may not get to discuss during readings or my morning metamorphosis messages. We have discussions about things that Spirit may be leading me to discuss with my collective. This is also a place, a safe space that I hold for you all to come in and offer up any concerns or any advice or any clarity that you may want to share with myself or others. This is a safe space to do so. So this place, it's all about this us having conversations. It's all about us connecting. It's a forum for us to just be ourselves and vent and just have conversations and talk to each other. So, my butterflies, first and foremost, I want to start off by simply explaining the reference behind my name, behind the Themis d'Amour. First, I like to mention that the name Themis, she is a Greek goddess of justice. And so, with her being all about justice and fairness, I chose this name because my name, my real name, similar meaning. And when it comes to the d'amour part, y'all know that's French and that's for the love. And my intention with my channel and with the things that I do here, my intention is to lead us all with love, to assist us in walking towards fairness, but to do so with love. Because I truly believe that the best justice, the best karmic justice, because we're here and we all have karmic justice, that we are here to heal, ascend, and overcome. So the best healing for karmic justice is healing. The best way to, well, I meant to say, the best way to defeat or the best way to overcome karmic justice is healing and it's love. So my intention here with this channel and with the things that I do here is to offer services of healing that is both fair to you and to others because we are one consciousness. We never walk alone. We're in this together. So your healing will always be my healing and my healing will always be yours, my butterflies. So my intention here is to gently remind us that we are here working together, that being fair, being balanced, which is justice, is our intention in all that we do. That we take steps, we apply behaviors, we follow patterns that is in the highest good for everyone that is involved with us in our situations. So when we think of justice, we all know that this is pretty much Libra energy. This is the scales being balanced. This is about, harmony. This is about bringing refinements, whether that's beauty or just, luxury. It's about bringing refinement to the situations that may be at hand. So balance is yin and yang energy. It's light and dark energy. It's also masculine and feminine, dominant versus receptive. it's logic versus, you know, illusions, imagination, belief. And I think I'm being called to have this conversation with you all because of the eclipse that we are coming up on. And this eclipse that we are embarking upon is an eclipse in Pisces. And my butterflies, Pisces energy is pretty much usually about illusions and dreams and fantasy, you know, those type of things. It's about, deep emotions. It's about the occult. With it being the 12th sign of the zodiac, my butterflies, it's also about completion. But it's about completion and completing cycles and the end of cycles. And from a creative aspect, with 12 breaking down to the number three, and number three is about collaboration and creativity. And so we all know that Pisces energy is about intuition. It's about, the emotions of situations, my butterflies. So with this eclipse that we are embarking on, this eclipse is asking us to release what no longer serves us. Any illusions, any fantasies, um, any energies of a fantasy that we may have held close to us, my butterflies. This energy of this eclipse in Pisces is going to be asking us to release these. I'm sorry, look at the chat. Welcome in, butterflies. I'm sorry if I'm not paying you all any attention. I'm just flowing with my conversation, but I'll look down. What's the explaining the fixation with astrology? Um, my fixation with astrology is because first of all, I'm a dual thinker. I'm not someone who's just, earthly thinking. And I think that attributes to me having a lot of dual signs in my chart. So I don't just think one way. I can see the benefits in understanding from many perspectives. So my interest, so I wouldn't say fixation, my interest in astrology is because I embrace any areas where I can learn to connect with, universal consciousness, where I can learn to learn more about myself, where I can learn to learn more about other people, things like that. And astrology does help and assist in us understanding energies. And so I've always been a person that's been aware of energies, and so I have an interest in learning about them. And astrology is an interest is an energy. You are the energy. I am an energy. The planet, the stars, the moon, all of it's energy. So that's where my interest in the subject comes from. I have many acquaintances that just can't withhold some reverence of the situation. Well, I can't speak from where someone else's reverence, relevance to astrology, may derive from. I just explained where mine derived from. But yes, and to answer your question, it has successfully guided me and it's assisted me in understanding energies, whether that's my own or energy that may be surrounding me. So yes, I would say that it has worked for me. I mean, I'm not trying to get you to adopt my, perspective or anything like that. But the only thing I can hope that if anything that I have to offer, if you have any questions or if you need clarification on a perspective that you already have, that's the only thing I can hope to do. But I don't aim to change your perspective. No, when I communicate with someone, no, that's not the first thing that comes to my mind. Is what their zodiac sign is. First, I just focus on the conversation at hand. Now, if I get to trying to understand the person, then yeah, that's when astrology or maybe wondering their zodiac sign may be coming into play. If I'm trying to understand a situation or something, but it has to be. It's not just a general thing. It has to be it has to be from a perspective mind point. If I think about astrology, it's me trying to step outside of my own perspective and embrace someone else's. Okay, I hope that helps. But back to what I was speaking on about the eclipse in Pisces. As I was stating, this is about release, about releasing what no longer serves you. And this it could be all about, in tarot, this could be the Eight of Cups energy. This could be Hangman's energy. When you're talking about releasing what no longer serves you, in the traditional tarot deck, the Eight of Cups, you see a masculine figure and he's walking away from the cups. He's not abandoning those cups per se. He's seeking refinement. He's seeking knowledge. He's seeking truth. So that is a form of surrender. He realizes that those cups, even though it's eight of them, they no longer serve him. So he's going after those last two that are left, those other two that are out there for him. He's going after those, and he understands that those two cups will be enough for fulfillment. This energy is also about embracing your intuition. So when we think of moon energy, or when we think about the high priestess, where that intuition, that's embracing that energy comes from in the tarot cards. And this is also about surrendering to new beginnings. New beginnings, um, so it's a supplemental thing. I don't really know what that means. I'm sorry. But surrendering to new beginnings, this could also be hangman energy, because the hangman, he's suspended from a tree, a post, a log, or whatever it is that you want to call it. He's suspended from that, and he's allowing himself to have a new perspective, a new viewpoint. He's allowing himself to surrender to what he doesn't know. And Pisces energy is also about the unknown, because it's watery, it's deep. So any energy that's surrounding dreams, illusions, or fantasy, with it being, like I said, with it being the 12th sign of the zodiac, my butterflies, we are entering. First, I want to mention that for the last 2,000 years, we have been under the age of Pisces. And I think I want to say it was like 2020, 2011 or something like that. I'm not sure. I have to check it again. But around 2011 of Aquarius. And Aquarius energy is all about innovation. It's all about it's all about forward thinking. But when you think of the Aquarius moniker, you notice that it's a masculine figure that is pouring out water. So with us stepping into this new age of newness, of innovation, of forward thinking, we are bringing this newness, this forward thinking in with the things that we learned from the watery Pisces energy. The energy that we learn from carrying out, from embracing our intuition, the energy that we learn from surrendering, the energy that we learn from releasing when no longer serves us, the energy that we learn from the occult. That is the things that we are bringing with us into this Aquarius energy to change, the dynamic of our society. Hi, Misty Bikini. Welcome in. So, through our dreams and our illusions and that knowledge, all of that is creativity. And that's what we're bringing along with us. So, creatively, we are expanding, we are moving forward in our thinking, because Aquarius energy is air energy. So this is about thoughts, this is about communication. So the way that we think, the way that we communicate with each other, that energy is going to be changed, but it's going to be changed along with the energy of creativity and occult and illusions and fantasy that the Pisces energy gave us, my butterflies. So I also want to mention, I took some notes so I wouldn't forget where I'm supposed to be going. With this forward thinking energy, my butterflies, this energy is teaching us that there's a target in front of us. The target is changing of the society. We have lived, like I stated before, we've lived under a certain mind frame, a certain perspective, a certain amount of laws, a certain way of movements, behaviors, all of that, my butterflies. We've lived under that for over 2,000 and something years. And so, with this target for this forward movement, we are being encouraged to embrace this energy. And so, really, as I stated, with me being a dual thinker, I'm the type of person that I understand both sides of the coin, both sides of the scale, per se. And when you understand both sides of the scale, you understand that without light energy, dark energy can't exist either. You understand that light energy is no better than dark energy, and that dark energy is no better than light energy. That they are both on an equal scale. So judging someone off of them having dark experiences, dark actions, or anything like that is really unfair. It's really tilting the scales in the opposite direction because we don't really understand when light and dark is needed for someone on their own individual path. Let's just say, for example, um, sometimes we encounter situations where people have crossed the line and we really just need to cuss they slap the f out. You know what I'm saying? And that is viewed as dark energy. That's normally viewed as low vibrational. But when you're dealing with certain people and in certain situations, that is the energy that you need to channel. That is the energy that you need to conjure up within you to be able to set the boundaries, the necessary boundaries that you need, or ask for the respect that you deserve from these people. You can't continue to always be nice and turn the other cheek and do all those things and expect for things to change for you. That's, like they said, the definition of insanity. So we can't be around here dictating whether or not someone possesses dark or light energy, without knowing their situation, my butterflies. So I say that to say this. Like I said, with boundaries, with this energy of this eclipse and releasing things that no longer serving us and surrendering and walking away and letting go of illusions and fantasies, I know that that type of energy is going to have to be something that many of my butterflies is going to have to tap into. They're going to have to ghost people. They're going to have to leave people on red. They're going to have to cuss people out. Because sometimes those things are what's needed to shatter an illusion, to crash a fantasy. And everybody's not going to like it. Everybody's not going to see it in a beautiful way. But it's your journey, my butterflies. When you are truly, truly off track, because like I said, I see light and dark on the same scale. When the scales begin to tilt, and that's what I call off track, begin to tilt is when you're in excess, when you're overdoing something. And that can be the light or the dark. You could be overdoing and giving. You could be overdoing and, you know what I'm saying, and caretaking. You could be overdoing and forgiving. Your scale is going to tilt. You're going to have more weight on that side of overgiving. There's no balance in that. You can overdo manipulation. You can overdo gossip. You can overdo angry behaviors and action. You're tilting the scale. There's no balance in that. The balance comes when we determine what's of our highest good. That's how we keep the scales balanced. That's what truly determines the type of person that we are. Are we healed or are we unhealed? Are we balanced? Are we unbalanced? Because if you're doing too much of either one, my butterflies, you are unbalanced. We also can't get ourselves caught up in the energy of just believing that we can be light. Just think light and positive past all of our situations and things through the trials and tribulations. We're here living a very real 3D experience. To be so forgiving, so open, so welcoming, to live in the energy of, excuse me, I'm always the type of person that someone can come back to. I'm an open door policy. No matter how much you've hurt me or what you've done to me, I can forgive and I'll let you back in my energy to share my energy with me again. It doesn't. That's not a flex, my butterflies. That is not a flex, especially when you have abandonment issues, especially when you're emotionally unavailable, especially when you're an avoidant, especially when you're codependent and need validation. Being like that is not a flex because it's screaming those things to someone who's healed. For you to believe that you being so open and ready to allow anybody back into your energy, anybody can share your energy while you're healing, and you know you're healing. You know you're not where you want to be in life. You know you're not on your destined path. But you truly believe that you can allow anybody in your energy, allow them to share it. When you got all these childhood and inner wounds going on within you, and think that it's not going to have some type of effect on you and on your life. Hey, Ethro. Thank you for dropping in. I surely, truly, truly appreciate it. Sorry I missed yours. I was preparing for mine. But yes, my butterflies. The people around you affect your blessings. The people around you affect how you feel because that is energy. Your blessings are energy. You are energy. Everything about you and around you is energy. It's very dangerous for you and reckless of you to believe that you don't need protection in a real world because manipulation is real, lies are real, jealousy is real, greed is real, thievery is real. So why would you put yourself in a position to believe that you don't need protection? That you can just will yourself out of exposing your energy to the whole world. I'm sorry, my butterflies, it don't work like that. If protection was not needed, we would not have all of these vices to be able to protect ourselves. We wouldn't have prayer. We wouldn't have affirmations. If you believe in affirmations, you believe you need protection, whether that's from yourself or you're from others. You believe you need it. So if you're going to affirm, make sure you're doing the work. Make sure you're doing 3D work. Make sure you're keeping your energy cleaned and protected. If you're going to affirm it, what are you affirming if you're not doing anything? You're affirming a fantasy. And that is stuff that you're supposed to be leaving behind. That is no longer serving you, my butterflies. to just lean on a hope and a wish and a prayer excessively, that's spiritual bypass. When that's all you want to do is affirm and believe that you're above all of the negativity, all the attacks, all of the manipulation. That's spiritual bypass, and you have a spiritual ego. It's reckless. It's not of your highest good. Also, let's see. I want us to understand from this eclipse energy that we are embarking on how important it is for us to set those necessary boundaries because they are needed. And those boundaries, I always like to tell people when I ask them to set a boundary, I always like to mention and inform them that setting those boundaries, they are harder for you to follow through with than they is for the person that you're setting them for. Because the reason why you needed the boundary is because you was too free flowing, because you was too open. And with that type of openness, you you got attached. And in some cases maybe got addicted to that energy. Being that open, you may have exposed yourself. You may have binded yourself to an energy that doesn't serve you, my butterflies. So it's important. So very important for us to be mindful of the situations, the people, the circumstances that we get ourselves involved in. It's so easy for us to look around years later and find ourselves tied to some toxicity. We've all done it. It's human. But when are you going to take your power back? Now that you know that you have woken, now you've woken up and you've realized that you've attached yourself to something toxic, what are you going to do about it? You going to still people please? That's excessive. You going to continue to ignore? Because that's excessive, because you know now. So if you continue, it's excessive. You're not going to do anything about it. You're not going to slam that door in their face. You're not going to put them on block. You're not going to cuss them out. You're not going to disappear and remove your energy from them. That's your choice. That's your choice. But I want you to recognize that that's an addiction. If you make a choice like that, that is you admitting that you're addicted to chaos. You're addicted to destruction. You're addicted to believing the worst about yourself. Because why are you still repeating those old stories? Whether that's verbally or physically. Why are you still repeating those old stories? Why are you giving so much honor to them? That's a question to ask yourself. Why am I choosing to repeat this old story? This story of I'm the victim And I got all these villains around me. I surround myself with villains. Why repeat that? Why choose that? Because I want to tell you something. The real villain in your story is you. You're the one chasing after yourself with those same patterns. You're the one hunting yourself with them. Those other people are victims of your story that you keep repeating by you keeping them around. So you can use them to have someone to blame for why your life's so itty, why it sucks. You want to repeat the cycle of having someone to blame, being codependent, and not want to stand up for yourself and take responsibility for yourself. Because responsibility looks like setting boundaries and cussing them out. That's what responsibility looks like. But you don't want to be responsible. You'd rather have you some villains around, some people you can point at and make them be the villains, but that's not true. They're not villains. They're victims of yours. Because they get to play a role in your scary movie, the scary movie of your life. And that's the truth, whether you wanted to hear it or not. Trying to stay all high vibing and all that. Where's that getting you? Where's the balance in that? Has it been assisting you? Has it gotten you what you want? Questions that need answers. I don't know. Disclaimer, all of this is just my opinion. Hey, maybe you found something else that maybe it works for you. Maybe that's the intensity that you like for your life. I don't know. But if you're on a path for healing, if you're on a path of ascension, if you're on a path to master what's been holding you back, excessiveness is not the way. Victimhood ain't the way. That's a pattern you need to unlearn. A behavior you need to walk away from. It serves no one. It don't even serve the people around you. Even though you think they benefiting off of you being so giving and accommodating, they're not. You're doing an injustice to them. You holding them up. Using them as the cast to your story. Making them Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy Krueger and all that. You ain't benefiting them. You ain't serving them either. See how that works on both sides? You accepting all the things that you don't like about them from them. There's dark energy. Them giving you all these things that you don't like and behaving in ways that is not of everybody's best good. That's dark energy. We all live and we all walk in it. It's just respect the thing. You got to tap into one or the other depending on the situation and what you need. But you just can't be excessive. And you are excessively making yourself the villain Every time you tell these stories over and over again, or every time you get in situations where you are repeating them, when you get in a situation you know is unhealthy. This situation was just like the last time. Last time I got with somebody who was emotionally unavailable, who was in a relationship, and or who was a backstabbing friend, or and I'm seeing signs of this. But you know what? I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna fight through it. I'm gonna cycle through it. I'm gonna be positive because my love is gonna make sure they know how loyal I am. Baby, back. I've never seen that work. I tried it. I know it don't work. You don't know wasting your time and hurting yourself. Thinking you're gonna stick around and teach someone who don't know how to treat people how to treat you better. I can't. I would not even say good luck with it because I know that's a lie. I'm wishing you luck on a lie, so I'm not gonna even say good luck with it. Even if you achieve any semblance of what that looks like, it's short lived. It's a lie. Because you can't make nobody be who you want them to be. That's a choice. You can't make nobody respect you, especially if you're around. You still getting your energy until you. Why they gonna respect you? Why they gonna stop? You give them open space to batter you, to find information to hurt you, to keep you stuck, rely on you, to disrespect you. Now, I used to do it. I used to give people a lot of space and chance to, because I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust myself, and I had abandonment issues, and I wanted validation. So I will allow people to just do me wrong and still keep open space for them. Or I would be around people I saw doing other people wrong and knew they, you know what I'm saying, they was in excess. I ain't talking about just doing something. I'm talking about excessive. When I say these things, I'm talking about excessive. So I'm not just being judgmental saying that, talking about nobody making no mistake or choosing something that was best for them. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about excessive. I saw them engaging in excessive patterns or behaviors that wasn't any good for themselves or the other people involved. And I would still share my energy with them, thinking that, oh, I'm a step ahead of them, or, I got it, or, I'm going to be able to control it, or I'm not going to let them close enough. And all the time, that was a lie. You got to trust yourself. If you feel something off, it's off. Ain't nothing wrong with looking for some 3D clarity. Nothing wrong with it. But your body talks to you. Your body was the first thing you knew. The first, thing you the first experience you came here in your body. That's the first experience you had. You came here in it. So you gotta trust it. At some point, you should. If your body tells you something is out, something is out. And we are human. Sometimes you doubt yourself. Sometimes you want to just make sure you ain't tripping, because I do that too. I want to make sure I'm not tripping. I'm gonna make sure I'm not, just putting no jacket on nobody and expecting them to wear no jacket that I just, just thought up and imagined just because I done been through some things. Because that's one of the things that leads us to treat people like that. The things that we have been through. Now we don't trust nobody. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? You know, first 48 suspects. Because we done been through some things. So I'm not suggesting that as soon as you get a feeling or inkling that you just go running out there. No, look within first, and then look without. Then look around you. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I get a little entertainment just from watching folks playing in my face and think they playing in my face. I get a little entertainment from it, but eventually but see, I'm to the place where I know I can't let that go on. I know I have to nip it in the bud. Sometimes I just be want to see, because it teaches me. It's as messed up as it may sound, the ways in which I get to watch people try to play with me, it teaches me where I'm vulnerable at. See that? You see that? Yeah, that's a dark thing to do. To sit around and know that you playing or whatever. But like I said, you can't be excessive with it. Do you have a boundary? Do you have a stopping point? And even though I do that, even though sometimes I just want to see how far they're gonna go, see what I can learn from this situation. I got a stopping point. I got a boundary. That's what you're gonna need. You can't get so caught up in enjoying the entertainment or enjoying the attention. But sometimes you get caught up in that just because the person is giving you attention. They trying to um, they trying to get in your panties. That's what they doing, or your boxes, or whatever case may be, whatever you wear. That's what they trying to do, but you just entertain it. You just let it see how far it's gonna go. We all know if you done lived enough of this life, you can't let that kind of thing go too far, or you gonna learn a lesson. It's just what it is. You're gonna have to learn something behind it. Somebody gonna teach you something. Somebody gonna learn you something for a few ticks. So you can't just play with nobody's emotions just for your growth purposes either. You gotta have a boundary, a reasonable one. You gotta have a reasonable, you know what I'm saying? I get, your boundary can be, what I'm saying, a set date when you're, gonna be done with something, or a set incident or experience or conversation. But you gotta be ready to stand on it when you do that. But at least have one. So you don't play yourself into no long term situations. Because that's how you get caught up and that's how you get involved. I'm gonna check my little notes over here and make sure I didn't miss mentioning anything. Because I'm seeing that I've been on here almost an hour now. I'm hoping I didn't miss anything. I kept the light low because I wanted to have a little vibe type thing with this conversation. Keep it, not so heavy. Make it comfortable. Make it something we all could relax to and listen without, you know, not too many distractions. I think I covered everything that I took down in my notes. Yeah, I think I pretty much covered it because, like I said, it was mainly wanting to talk about duality, balancing of the scales, light and dark. Because, like I said, if you encounter a situation where you have to set boundaries, that's because you lean excessively one way. So that's the reason why you got to set that boundary because you was over exceeding yourself in something. And to balance that back out, you may have to do some things that other people are not going to deem likable. Because that's all dark energy is, honestly, really, truly. Dark energy is just energy that you don't like, that you don't have an acceptance for. So, and it's a matter of perspective. Some people don't see things like jealousy as dark energy. Some people see jealousy as a healthy emotion. They see that as a sign of love, a verification of love. But others see that as a low vibrational feeling that many people attribute to insecurity. So it's just all a matter of perspective. So that's when I say the most important thing to focus on and to know whether or not you are off track is if you're doing something in excess. Do you excessively have to be nice and giving? Do you excessively have to be honoring and accommodating and welcoming to the detriment of you, to the detriment of your livelihood, what you're working on, what you're trying to achieve, what you want for yourself? Are you being so nice that you're still not getting any of those things? Then it's excessive. And that is unbalanced energy. Even though all those things I just named seem like things of loving qualities, when you do them excessively, they unbalance you and your skill. Next, are you always having to manipulate a situation? Are you always having to lie, come up with a plan to conjure something? Are you always trying to deflect attention or distract? Are you always finding yourself in situations where you gotta make people believe something that's not true? Whether you got it when you got to be competitive or jealous or worried, whether you when you feel tense, are you encountering those situations a lot? Then you're doing something in excess and you are off track and you are unhealed, unbalanced. That's what truly matters, my butterflies. Before you even try to define light and dark, before you even try to base your actions or someone else's actions. Because sometimes we don't want to do something because we think it's dark. But what you gonna do? Are you gonna sit over there and keep getting beat up all day? Because it looks wrong for you to slap him back, because it's not polite to not answer someone's call or not giving them an explanation for why you no longer want to engage with them. Oh, that's so wrong. That's so, oh, that's, you shouldn't have done that. Stronger people would, man, whatever. You have to do what you have to do for the situation that you are in. If you ain't that strong, you can't be called to do that. If this situation has made me so weak to the point where I cannot even find the words, the form of words to be able to say, I done ran out of words by dealing with this situation. I done ran out of words to say, so now I just want to leave without saying anything because I ain't got no words to say. That's what your situation called for. That's your journey. It's yours. This ain't about what nobody else said. This ain't about Sally, who over there who's strong and confident, and she don't play no games. She ain't been hurt and broken in that way. And if she had, I'm pretty sure it probably took her some time to get to the place where she separated herself and released it too. So don't you put no pressure on you. Give yourself all the grace that you need. Let nobody rush your progress or make you feel like you should have done something other than what you needed to do that you felt like would get you in the best position in the highest good. I remember this one person was talking to me one time and they told me about why they was had went to jail so much when they was young, and they said that based off their environment and their life that they was living, that they went to jail all those times because that was the only time where they could be, in peace and not live in the trauma of their environment. All they had to do was go out and commit a crime, and they would be in jail. And now they could sleep in peace. Now they could eat, even though it was structured eating, and it probably wasn't the most appetizing eating. They could eat. They didn't have to work. And to me, at the time, that was like the most puzzling thing for me to me, because I'm like, why would you want to get yourself locked up to escape? Even though, yeah, those things you're telling me about were bad and tragic, I just felt like jail was just, what I'm saying, another tragic place to go and be. But for that person, that was the best that they could do. That was how they found their ascension from that situation. Whether I agree with it or not. And that's the thing with my dual thinking, that I don't have to agree with nobody else's way of thinking, but I still can see it. I can still understand the perspective. It doesn't have to be mine. Like I said, I think that comes from me having, you know, a lot of air and other dual signs, in my chart. I think that's where I get that two sides from. All the duality in my chart. So I don't have to understand anybody's perspective. I don't have to adopt it as my own. It does not have to be something that belongs to me. But yet still, I can embrace it. I can accept it and surrender to it because it's yours. I don't have to keep it. That's what I want for you all, my butterflies. I want you all to walk into, from the time you hear this message, I want you to walk into your experiences with the understanding that you have the right to choose what energy you need to harness depending on the situation, as long as you're using it for your highest good and you're not being excessive with it. That has been my message for today. This has been another episode of Cocoon Conversations. I hope someone out there found this information insightful. I hope if Well, I don't have to hope because I trust that it'll be received by whoever needs to hear it at whatever time they need to hear it. So I'm just here being of service so I won't get fired. And by get fired, I mean be unhealed or back to a path. Because I mean, we're never fully healed because we always have something to heal from. So that's when transformations, we can have many transformations. And I don't want anybody to think that anything that I say is for you to ever be done with the healing process because that's not real. That's not reality. So we're always going to have scenarios and things to overcome. But a part of me being here is to sharing the healing process with you all, to connect to, because I understand universal consciousness. I understand we're one. I understand that my path, my ascension will always be triggered by something that happens within the energy meeting mine. So I need you just like you need me. I mean, you don't have to accept that you need me, but it's true. I'm here shaping your world just like you're here shaping mine. So it is what it is. But if you all, no, let me see. Leave us with an affirmation so we can affirm our understanding of the balancing of energies. Our butterflies, this affirmation is going to be: I honor both my light and my shadow. In balance, I find my truth. In harmony, I live whole and free. My butterflies, that is true justice. That is true balancing of the scales. Understanding that you are both. You are feminine, you are masculine, you are light, you are dark, you are dominant, you are receptive, you are logic, you are belief. And that's a beautiful thing, to not be one dimensional. If you all have appreciated these messages I left with you all for today, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And as always, it's been an honor to be here of service, sharing these messages with you, because my healing is your healing and your healing is mine. So let's transform together. Welcome to your metamorphosis, butterflies. And until next time, you all have a blessed, love, and balanced rest of your day.